All right, having here a conversation. Sorry. Welcome back to Biashara Tuesday. I actually sometimes get carried away with this show because I have so much fun, and I hope you're having as much fun watching Biashara Tuesday from home. Na unatuambia wewe ni nani na unaona kutoka wapi, mambo kama hayo, ndo pia nikupatia shout outs. Watu wa nyumbani wajue kweli unajua mambo ya biashara. Hapa hivi on Facebook, Wasike Alan Wanyonyi. Let me read this comment from Emperor Shaker, who is the host of Entertainment Friday here on KUTV Rise Studio. My gosh, chama is a savings plan if we people honor it. Hata kama it's your own money, si rahisi ujipate na hiyo 10k yako mara moja. So, Wasike Alan Wanyonyi has hunted me down all over social media from Twitter to Facebook, trying to tell me that I should tone down on speaking against chamas, especially the one that he is in, ambayo sita mention jina, ambayo I am also partly an investor. I'm an investor in that chama. Asante sana Wasike though for watching the show. Make sure you're tuning in for Friday's Entertainment Friday show on the morning. Nakwanga heavy fire. Best way to start your weekend. Tumeachana na hiyo mambo. Tuingie mambo ya biashara na magazeti. Here it's business and the Star, Business Daily, the Star, the Daily Nation and the Standard. On my right is Eric Macharia. I already dropped the Macharia joke last week. I don't think I have much more. So we'll just get into the conversation of what is happening here on the headlines. I think the first thing that I always want to hear from you is on politics.
Yeah.
And they have to forgive me. I can't avoid politics. Economics and politics just go hand in hand, right?
Yes.
On the headline of the Daily Nation is Ruto's big day. Okay. On the headline of the Standard is trouble in Azimio. I think last week the headlines were a bit favorable for Azimio,
yeah,
and less harsh on Ruto. I think things have switched sides this time. So Ruto's big day is today, yeah, in the Kasarani Stadium in his quest to be officially named as the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, something that I have things to say about, so later on. And then there's also trouble in Azimio. The Business Daily is focusing on business in the Moi family, where Moi family is now, that is Baringo Senator specifically speaking, Gideon Moi has bought back his majority stake in geothermal power plant. And we're going to speak a little bit about that. And also there's a hitch in the fuel prices, an all-time high at 134 per liter of petrol and also at 115.60. Eric, yes. Nakumbuka tukibuy liter ya diesel at like 50 or 60 shillings not, yeah, so long ago, yeah, right? Things are really going to the pits, yeah?
Yeah, things and they will continue to do so for a while. Remember last week when I was here, I told you, like, if you have the opportunity, buy some stock in energy. So I think whoever took or heed my advice is probably really happy about his portfolio right now.
Yeah.
Especially if they invested in energy companies.
And you're saying this is going to continue into the future? Yeah,
this might continue into the future. Mm-hmm. This is largely governed, like I said, mostly because of the war that is going on in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and also this coming on top of the already weakened supply chain lines,
right,
because of COVID.
Okay.
So there will be a bit of disruption before the market, probably next year, starting from next year, then the supply chain lines might now come back in order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm seeing here the government, as we had mentioned last week, there's that subsidy program that was there, mm-hmm, to cushion the all marketeers and also everyone else who is trying to access fuel. And the subsidy scheme, has been supported by billions of shillings that was raised by fuel consumers. And this has now that it has been affected and made it unsustainable because of that war, yeah, that is currently happening in Russia. And as you told me, between Russia and Ukraine, to be specific, the invasion of Russia in Ukraine, oil prices are soaring. Even the US, you were telling me before that even the US is feeling this effect.
Yeah, much more so. Remember, right now there is already an energy. Before this, there was already an energy crunch in Europe. And with now what is going on, remember, most of the in fact the EU gets most of its gas from Russia through two pipelines, which is the one going through Ukraine and the Nord Stream 1. They delayed the certification of Nord Stream 2, so there's a bit of a crunch. Normally they would rely on the Americans to provide the energy deficit, but even the Americans themselves are facing energy deficit to a point that they actually right now almost about to recognize a government that they have been actively fighting for so many years.
How the tables stand.
Yeah, it's very interesting what is going on in
the US government is
politics.
Now in Venezuela trying to make courtship with them.
Yeah.
Okay, so even the mighty do crumble, yeah? Ata Simba ukula nyasi sometimes. So that is what is there on the Business Daily. We'll get to touch on the Business Daily throughout the show. However, the Daily Nation, Ruto's big day.
Yeah.
Is it? Is it?
He's about to. There will be the NDC between there's be an NDC, a Kenya Kwanza NDC today in Kasarani.
With 4,350 UDA delegates expected.
Yeah. Is it UDA delegates or is it Kenya Kwanza delegates? Because I believe CCK, Chama cha Kazi, and ANC and Ford Kenya will also be part of the day's events.
All right, so they're saying it's 4,350 party delegates, 10,000 participants. So it's 10,000 participants in total, who include 4,350 party delegates and another 5,600 including aspirants. So that is the big day that is there, and it's expected that they're going to unveil, the Kenya Kwanza team is going to unveil Deputy President William Ruto as, of course, the flag bearer for that coalition. Last week, the UDA party was holding, what is it called? Nominations or interviews for presidential candidates. Was that necessary?
I mean, who
expected for them to say, all right, DP Ruto is not running, we have another presidential candidate?
There's this saying, especially when you're coming to power relations, that sustained perception is greater than fact. So the perception of that there is democracy going on within the party is really important, especially if you're going to be going into the nominations. You want your members feeling that this is a free and fair democratic process, and this is a party that upholds such kind of values. So I think that was why it necessitated the kind of interviews that we saw.
So mzee mzima pale Moses Kuria, Chama cha Kazi party leader, is saying that he also expects at least 25 political parties that will be joining the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, and they're discussing modalities. I know there are a lot of issues, including who exactly is supposed to be the running mate to DP Ruto, and they're saying they're talking of a surprise guest among all these participants. What do you think? What do you expect from this delegation that is happening?
Okay, with in reference to the political parties by Moses Kuria, let's see. I think he may have a couple of small parties that may want to join the alliance, which is they are free to do so. In regard to the surprise guest, I don't think it's that surprising anymore that we could be seeing Martha Karua attending the.
You think so?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's a surprise to me.
Remember, she was being courted from both sides of the divide, from the Azimio side and also from the Kenya Kwanza side. So she didn't show up at the Azimio launch. So maybe she could be showing up here, or maybe it is somebody else. You never know with politics.
Right, that's true. You never know with politics, especially right about this time when both of them are trying to hide their cards. Who's the running mate? Which kind of parties are being involved in the coalitions and whatnot. I know Martha Karua has been there on Twitter. All I have seen her do is say fake news. Fake news. Kini fake news. This is fake news. So hopefully she'll give us some true news sometime into the future. So that is what is happening. Ruto's big moment as UDA is set to unveil him as its candidate over there in Kasarani. So wale watu wa Thika Road mjue pale Kasarani leo kutakuwa kumeshikana sana. Pale chini, and I think I want us to attach this, tuishikanishe pamoja na what is there on the standard. Jubilee's U-turn on Raila's deputy. Have we been wrong? before we even have this conversation, have we been wrong that Azimio la Umoja will have and must pick a running mate from the Mount Kenya region? Because I'm seeing here that Jubilee, which you're a member of, nasikia mnasema you no longer have a requirement to have the running mate for Raila Amolo Odinga coming from the Mount Kenya region.
Remember, if we have learned anything from this term, from His Excellency the President's last term, is that you need to be very, very careful about who is going to deputize you.
Right.
And I think this is something that needs to be taken very seriously. Also, again, the deputy position has been shown to not necessarily have the weight that you would expect of it. So from the party, I think the party's position is clear in that we are playing the long game, not really the short one. So again, that is a decision of our NEC, and I believe they will come out with the right decision.
Truly,
and
it's a house of cards.
Yeah, it is. Again, we also have to make room for our partners in the coalition. We cannot really just come in and bulldoze. We cannot say, remember, Jubilee is a national party. It's not just a Mount Kenya party.
Right.
So we have to make space and room for our partners, maybe from the northern region of Kenya, some in Western Kenya, and some around the coast. And we can't necessarily say that if we don't get this position from Mount Kenya, then this is not going to work. We also have to make room for all the rest of the other partners within the coalition.
Okay, two important things that are also happening in the Azimio side is that one, Kalonzo Musyoka, who has Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, who has so many things to say every new week. 1 week he said this, then the other week he says this. Right now he is saying that all those who are supporting him and believe in his principles should support Mr. Raila Odinga. So there's also that conversation on whether he still is going to be the running mate to Raila Odinga after 2 failed attempts as a pair. And also, I am surprised, and this is a personal question, maybe you might be able to answer me on this one. Gideon Moi, who will not be defending his Senate seat this time round in the 2022 general elections, is he not a conversation? Is he not a force to consider as a running mate, especially to get votes from the Rift Valley region, or split votes for the votes that Ruto is supposed to get from the Rift Valley region?
I'll start with your first comment. I think the Honorable Musalia Kalonzo is much smarter than most people give credit for. Yeah, and if you have realized, if you have noticed, he has been on the forefront. He wasn't a core participant in the Azimio project when this whole coalition was being formed. But right now you can't really talk about Azimio without mentioning the name Kalonzo.
Right.
So I think he has done quite a bit to position himself. Maybe he could be going for the position of deputy president to maybe deputize the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga as president in the forthcoming elections. Who knows? Maybe he deserves it anyway. So, but yet again, he has been able to bring himself out as a core partner in this. Remember, he's also the head of the One Kenya Alliance. So he's quite he's really carved out a significant piece of the pie, so to speak.
So he is a force to reckon.
Yeah, he is a force to reckon with, I believe so. And when it comes to Gideon Moi, I think there is more than meets the eye when it comes to what the Kanuman is.
Gideon Moi.
Yeah. Remember, there are three individuals who really are trying to, just like in Mount Kenya, the same thing is happening. In Mount Kenya, you have people who are trying to vie for, who are trying to get the position of kingpin or regional leader. You have the likes of William Kabogo and Moses Kuria trying to challenge His Excellency the President for said position. And the same thing might actually be playing out. Not might, is playing out actually in the Rift Valley. We have 3 parties in the Rift Valley. UDA under the leadership of the deputy president. Then we do have Chama cha Mashinani under the leadership of the former governor of Bomet, Isaac Ruto.
All right. That's something I hadn't considered.
Yeah, and we also have KANU, which is a legacy party in the region.
Right.
So
the country.
Yeah, and in the country as well. So each of these 3 will probably be trying to get or trying to fight for the title of regional leader or regional kingpin, especially if they consider that things might not go well for the deputy president during the elections, then the region might now flock to them to offer leadership, especially if they're in government. So I think there's more to this than just standing for Senate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's just more conversation that is happening behind the scene.
Yeah, politics is we are told that you need to like learn the devil in the detail.
Okay.
Yeah.
the devil is in the details.
Yeah.
That is what they say. The devil is in the details. So make sure that you're reading in between the lines. I saw a very interesting cartoon here. I'm trying to get it. It's also concerning the running mates, which none of the major presidential candidates have yet announced. I'm trying to get that. It was on the
page 16
on the Daily Nation, page 16. I've been flipping through the Standard. Page 16 of the Daily Nation. Very interesting cartoon. Let me try and see if we can identify the faces. Hapa mwisho ni nani hapo unaona?
This is a very interesting one, and I think it's the same conversation that has been going on within Azimio, only maybe more profound within the...
Is that Peter Kenneth?
No, this is, I believe, Irongo Kangata,
okay.
Rigathi, the Matira MP, Musalia and Malala at the very edge. Each of them very interesting. Remember,
each of them trying to sit on the running mate seat. Yeah.
So there was a bit of conversation when the deputy president was out of the country, and if you took keen notice, there was a bit of back and forth between the ANC Kenya and Ford Kenya side of Kenya Kwanza and the UDA side of Kenya Kwanza, having you would call them the UDA legacy members, such as Kangata and Rigathi here. Rigathi saying that the position of deputy president the position of deputy had to be going to Mount Kenya, and seemingly ANC's leader Musalia Mudavadi had other indications of the same. The sentiments were echoed by, actually brought to light by Malala, Cleophas Malala, who has been really Musalia's spokesman.
When Cleophas speaks, it's Mudavadi speaking.
Yeah.
Right. Where is Weta the fifth?
Weta is still senator.
I've not heard anything concerning Weta recently. Does he have any cards, or is he run out of cards? Is he out of the game?
I think that he really didn't. He really hitched his ride on Musalia's coach, and I think right now he just has to go along with the rider. Let's see. Will he be taking active participation in the presidential campaigns as the days coming forward? I think we have 147 days left to the elections. Or will he go back to his home place and work on his own campaign? Will he be, because I believe all indications are that he will be trying to defend his seat. So that will be an interesting thing to watch. Will he take part in the national in the presidential campaigns, or will he take part in his own? All right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's something that we have to wait and see. One person that I really need to mention before we run out of time. One person we have to mention, Peter Kenneth.
Yeah.
What is his play, or what do you feel is his play this time around?
I think Peter Kenneth is playing his cards very close to his chest. The indications were that earlier indications were that he was probably looking for position of running mate for under the Azimio banner. However, that is not really as clear right now. So maybe he could be going back for something else, or positioning himself as a principal within the Azimio coalition once once the secretariat now fills in the positions. But I think after the 26th, we will come to a lot more things will be clear.
All right. Yeah. So that is what we have on politics. One more thing is the government is inviting for everyone, the public, to submit their comments on an environmental and social impact assessment report concerning the Nairobi BRT. I know you've seen it around. So it's going to have corridors expected to hold up to 950 high-capacity buses, which are going to reduce the travel time and cost for up to 70%. So this is going to ease up traffic into the CBD, and this project is costing 38 billion, the amount of money that the European Investment Bank will provide to finance the BRT project in Kenya, and it's expected to run for at least, or to be financed for at least 12 years for them to complete the project. So any comments that you have on the infrastructure projects that are currently ongoing? I know the Nairobi Expressway is pumped up apparently. Yeah. Now 88 billion Kenyan shillings is what the cost is as of the moment in financing the Nairobi Expressway. The state, on the business really, the state is trying to, or parliamentarians are debating on bringing back toll fees on major highways to try and raise money for some of the projects, some of these projects, Nairobi Mau Summit Highway, and much more highways, which I'll be highlighting through the show. Are these good moves as we close up?
I believe if the projects are going to be financed the same way the Nairobi Expressway was financed, then it could be. Remember, the Nairobi Expressway is not financed by the Kenyan taxpayer. It's a PPP project, which means it's a private-public partnership, in that private firms bring in capital, build up, and then they recoup their investments over a period of time.
Right.
So if under such circumstances, then I believe so. I believe the Nairobi Expressway will have toll stations, and that is one way that the investors will recoup their money, which is also a good thing, one way of bringing investors into the country. And we might probably have a way to fix the national debt, maybe bring it a bit lower, because now it's foreign money that will be actually funding this project, instead of us having to fund the projects directly through taxpayers, the taxpayer shilling, and free up this shilling to go do something else.
Right.
Yeah.
But
also, before we leave, I think there's a very interesting story that is being covered in the Daily Nation on page 11, which is a defense agreement between the Kenyan government and the British government, and this comes as a result of I think there's no other polite way to put this, but the indiscipline by the British Army over the past few years, where we have seen British soldiers commit some really not so, so under this ruling, it shows that now the British any suit or anything that is brought on will have to be taken on by a liaison of the two governments, and this we might now leave the troops open to face suit in Kenya, which is, I believe, is a win for the country.
Yeah, there's been a lot of cases. I remember some time back an issue of a British soldier who allegedly committed murder, and that was never followed up.
Yeah, I think this might tackle that issue of indiscipline of foreign troops on our land.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. As we close up, Eric, please do read me the quote here at the back of the Business Daily.
So today's quote is, happiness is a byproduct of function, purpose, and conflict. Those who seek happiness for itself seek victory without war. This comes from William S. Burroughs, an American author.
All right. Happiness is a byproduct of function, purpose, and conflict. Those who seek happiness for itself seek victory without a war. That's what we have to think about as we go for that break. This is still Biashara Tuesday. Continue to